Namaste. This class is about Surya Namaskar or Sun Salutation. We will look in detail into each and every posture of Surya Namaskar. I'll show you some corrections and also some variations. So let's get started. Sit in a cross-legged position. Adjust your glutes a little, take them out a little so you really sit on your sitting bones. And then close your eyes for a moment and just be. Focus on your breathing and fully arrive in this moment. Keep your eyes still closed. Feel your body. Check in with yourself. How do you feel right now? And now open your eyes again. Bring your hands in front of your chest into Namaskara Mudra, prayer position. And we will chant 3 times Om together. Take a deep inhalation. You can keep your eyes closed or you can keep them open. Feel the vibration in your body. And then we begin. Please come into stand. And before any sequence, before doing anything, we always warm up the body. Otherwise, we risk injury. So stand on your mat, feet shoulder width apart. Bring your hands up, interlock your fingers, and fully stretch up. Come onto your toes. Give your whole body a nice stretch. With the next exhalation, come down again. Inhale, bring your hands up and bend onto one side while you exhale. Inhale, come into the center. Exhale, come onto the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, bring your arms down again. We'll start with neck rotations. So you begin to roll your head in big circles. Do this very gently. This joint might be quite stiff for some people. 3 rounds in one direction and then 3 rounds in the other direction. And then come back to the center of your head. Stretch out your arms in front of you. Bring your thumbs in and make a fist. And then circle your wrists 3 times in one direction and then change of side 3 times in the other direction. Stretch your wrists. And then fold your elbows, bring your hands onto your shoulders and begin to draw very big circles, as big as possible. Again, 3 times in one direction and then change of directions and 3 big circles in the other side. And we stay here and we begin to rotate our body. First, you just focus on rotating your back and then you can go in a little further down to the hip. Very good. Now, we will stay with the back. Bring your hands on your lower back, the fingers facing up. And then Fold, bend back, nice stretch. Come back up and fold forward. Keep a micro bend in your knees. And you might feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings. This might be very tight for a few people. So just give it time, give the hamstrings the time they need to open up a little. If you touch the ground, if you can touch the ground, always make sure that your back is nicely straight. So you should not go like this, that you bend the back. Back should be straight, and it's not the goal to reach down to the floor. The goal is to just give a nice stretch to the calf muscles. You can even hold your elbows and just let your upper body hang. And then come back up. Put your feet a little wider. Bring your hands again onto your lower back and bend back one more time. This time we try to stretch our core muscles. And come back up. Now step very wide. Keep a micro bend in your knees. In this position, it's very important that you don't fully stretch your knees. That puts a lot of pressure on them. So keep the micro bend on your knees. Then inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, rotate your upper body and come down with your left hand. Your right hand looks up. You'll feel a nice stretch in the inner left thigh. Few breaths here. The next inhalation, come back up. The next exhalation, bring the right hand down, left hand up. And a few breaths here. And the next inhalation, come back up, lower your arms and bring your legs back together. Now we warmed up our back. Now we go on with our hip. So we do nice hip rotations. 3 rounds in one direction, as big circles as possible. This is a very good exercise to prevent back aches. And then you change the side and you make 3 big cycles in the other direction. Bring your feet completely together and your hands on your knees. And do the same what we did with our hip, now with your knees. Knee rotations. 3 rounds in one direction and then 3 rounds in the other direction. Now balance your weight on one foot and rotate the other ankle 3 times, one side and then the other side 3 rounds. Change other ankle 3 rounds one side and 3 rounds the other side. Very good. Now we warmed up our body and we can move into Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar actually is, we call it Sun Salutation in English, but it is not just about the sun, about this big round thing out there. It is about the element of fire as well, and the sun as a life giver. So when we do Sun Salutation, it is not just about that the sun brings the light to us, it brings much more to us. Without sun, there wouldn't be any life on the earth. So when we do Sun Salutation, we show gratitude to the sun, and at the same time, with the sequence what we do, we balance the fire element in our own body. And this is very important. Our ancestors, they were sitting in front of bonfires all the time. We hardly ever see real fire. So this brings us out of balance. Our own fire element in the body is not in balance. So with Surya Namaskar, we can help this a little bit. And with the certain postures or the certain sequence, the fire element in the body is balanced. Okay, I will show it now once. Just observe and then we will do it together. So you come into the front of your mat and you stand in Samastiti, means our base position. The legs are shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees, spine is fully straight, shoulders are relaxed, neck is in one line with the spine. Arms are engaged, they're not just hanging that down, they're engaged. We take a nice deep breath here. We inhale, bring the hands in front of our chest. Here we have the option to close the eyes for a few moments and just show the gratitude for the sun. With the next inhalation, you raise your arms up above your head, you bend back, Hasta Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Pada Hastasana. Inhale, right leg back, Ashvasanchalanasana, we look front. Exhale, second leg back into plank pose. So this is already a modern variation. The classical Surya Namaskar would put Parvatasana, mountain pose here, but this is a variation. So we train our upper body a little more, especially when we do a lot of computer work. This is important. So we exhale here, and then without breathing, we drop our knees, our chest and our chin. Ashtanga Namaskar. Then we flatten the body, and with the inhale, we come up into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale, push back into Parvatasana, mountain pose. So now we have a mountain. And in the first round, we're leading with the right leg. So we step back with the right leg first. And now we step front with the right leg first. Ashvasanchalanasana, equestrian pose. Here you can look down if you get more comfortable, more flexible. You can begin to look up. And also here you have the option to rest knee on the mat. Then we exhale, bring the second leg front, fold forward. Pada Hastasana. And we inhale, bring our arms up. So here you have the option. You can bring the arms up from the sides. I like doing like this. This is not a classical form, but this opens up the chest and expresses the shoulders. And a lot of people nowadays have the problem with these rounded shoulders. So this works for that very well. The classical way would be that you come up straight from the front. Just try both and see what works best for you. So either from the side or from the front. We come up, a fold, bend back, Hasta Uttanasana. Exhale, and back to the base position. Now this was one round. When you do more rounds, which you should, you can straight away not come down here, straight away dive into the next round. So from here, exhale, fold forward, Pada Hastasana, hand to foot pose. Then you bring your hands next to your feet and you can bend your knees here. It is not needed that you fully extend your knees. And now we begin with the left leg back. That's Ashvasanchalanasana, equestrian pose. Then plank pose. Knees, chest and chin down. Ashtanga Namaskar. Flatten your body, come up into Bhujangasana. Exhale and into Parvatasana, mountain pose. Inhale, the left leg leads in this round. Left leg front, Ashvasanchalanasana. Inhale, second leg front, forward fold. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. So this was 2 rounds. Some yoga teachers also count this as 1 round. When you do 1 time left side, 1 time right side. Or you can count each side as 1 round. That's up to you. Important is when you do Surya Namaskar that you do as many repetitions on the right side and as many repetitions on the left side. So the body remains balanced. Now I will do it very slowly 1 more time. And I will show you some corrections for it and then we will do it together. So we start in our base position. Shoulders are relaxed. You inhale, bring your arms up. Fold back. Now here, it doesn't matter how much you fold back, you should just feel slight stretch here and your back is slightly curved. The more flexible you get, the more you will be able to curve your spine and you look up. You exhale, you fold forward. Now this is one of the challenging poses for many people because here it is not important that you come down to the ground. It is important that your back stays straight. So when you come from here, you keep your back straight. You can imagine that someone is pulling your head front, so all your back is straight, and you fall forward as much as it is possible for you. So some people will reach here. You can hold on your thighs, some on the knees, and with more practice you will get more flexible and you can reach further down. Also here it is important that you keep a micro bend on your knees. If you fully extend them, it's a lot of pressure on the knees, it's not very good. So micro bend on your knees, and then slowly you will come further and further down. So even if you're here, you just hold it like this. And we come into the next pose, which is Sun Salutation, equestrian pose, the rider's pose. So here, you can just bend your knees, bring your hands next to your feet. We start with the right leg back. And here you can drop the right knee, or you can keep it up. When you keep it up, it's a little more of an exercise. And here, if you already have problems in your knees, if you have worries that your knees will start paining, it is advisable that you keep the knee on top of the ankle. So classically, we can do it like this as well, but this puts quite some pressure on the knee. So see that you just keep the knee on top of the ankle. And then you bring the second leg back into plank pose. In plank pose, it is important that we don't start doing like this because we don't have the strength in our core. We should really keep a plank, a very straight line. If that is not possible for you, it is better you keep your hip up a little more, better than doing this. In the beginning, it's also good maybe that you do it with a friend, and the friend can show you, okay, here you do this or that. You can put your phone somewhere and record yourself, and you see where you have to improve. Because it's not very easy to figure it out in the beginning where you do the mistakes, because you cannot see yourself. Okay, so we're in that plank pose. And from here, we go into Ashtanga Namaskara, salutation with 8 limbs. So we drop the knees, the chest, and the chin. And here you see you have nice curve in your spine. So we don't just, a lot of people I see sometimes doing like, just drop the whole body like this. That's not the point. The hip remains up. Your hip, your pelvic bone is not touching the ground. So the knees, the chest and the chin are on the ground, and all this part is off the mat. So it's the easiest when you remember. You're from the plank pose. You first drop the knees, then the chest, then the chin. And you do this pose without breath, means you hold the breath. And then you flatten your legs, and with the inhalation, you come up into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Now in Cobra pose, first thing is, it doesn't matter how far you come up. My back is quite flexible already, so I come up quite a bit, but it's okay if you just come till here as well. The goal is not that you lift everything off, the goal is actually that the pubic bone stays on the mat and your back is nicely bent. So here also a lot of people sometimes do like this, bring the shoulders up, the shoulders are away from the ears, nicely down. Your elbows are not outside, but they're as close as possible to the body. And then with the legs, you see my feet are a little apart because I have some back problems. Classically, you would bring them completely together, but if you're prone to get lower back pain, it's better to keep the legs a little apart. That keeps less pressure on the lower back. And then from Bhujangasana, we push up into Parvatasana, mountain pose. In the westernized yoga, this is also known as the downward facing dog. This is not the classical name for it. This is just a modern invention of Western yoga. So if you want to go with the classical name, it is the mountain pose. Here it can be that in the beginning you cannot bring down your heels, that is okay. With practice, you will work on that. So the heels can be off the mat for now. Important is that you build like a mountain. You build your body up like a mountain. So the upper body is straight and the legs are straight. So here you can imagine that someone is pulling your hip up to the ceiling. Mountain pose. With the next inhalation, Started with the right leg, so with the next inhalation, we bring our right leg front into Asana, equestrian pose. Here again important, keep the knee on top of the ankle. In this, again you can drop the knee or you can keep it up. And this pose will get easier with time when your hip opens up. My hip is very flexible, so it is okay if it doesn't look like this with you. It's also okay if you have to do like this for now. And the more you practice, the more open the hip will become and you can do it more wide. Exhale. Here we come into the forward fold again. So if you're flexible enough, you can stay down. Otherwise, you come up here. Important is that your back is straight and you feel a nice stretch on your calf muscles. Keep a micro bend in your knees. And from here, with the next inhalation, up, Hastottanasana, and exhale. The round is done. I'll show you one more time, one more round, only saying when you inhale and when you exhale. It is okay in the beginning if you cannot figure this out. In the beginning, focus on your body, focus on doing the postures right. The more practice you will have, the easier it will be for you to connect the movements with the breathing. And that is the goal. Then you get the gold, so to say, when you connect the movements to the breathing. So, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, hold your breath, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, so now I showed you the whole Surya Namaskar with quite some variations, and now we will do it together. We will do one round right, one round left. Let's start. Coming to the front of your mat, feet are shoulder width apart, spine is straight, shoulders are relaxed, micro bend in the knees, hands are engaged. Now bring your hands in front of your chest. Just take a moment to salute the sun, the life-giving force. Now with the next inhalation, raise your arms up above your head, Hastottanasana, raised hand pose. Exhale, fold forward, Padahastasana. Inhale, bring your right leg back, Asana. Exhale, second leg back, plank pose. Without breath, drop your knees, your chest and your chin. Flatten your body. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Bhagavatasana. Inhale, bring your right leg front, Asana. Exhale, Padahastasana, forward fold. And then inhale, bring your arms up, fold back, Hastottanasana. And we straight go into the second round. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, second leg back, plank pose. Now without breath, drop your knees, your chest and your chin. Flatten your whole body. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale, Padahastasana, mountain pose. Inhale, left leg front, Asana. Exhale, forward fold, Padahastasana. Here, see where you can go. And then inhale, up into Hastottanasana. Exhale, bring your hands in front of your chest into prayer position. Close your eyes for a moment, just take a couple of deep breaths. Feel your body. Slowly open your eyes again. Okay, this is Surya Namaskar. This is a very small class, this one, because I wanted to show all the corrections for Surya Namaskar. In my other classes, I very often do Surya Namaskar also as a warm-up.
So it's always good to clarify everything and to do it correctly. You can always do Surya Namaskar just by itself. It's very good in the morning if you don't have time for much else. You warm up your body and you do some rounds of Surya Namaskar. Better than not doing anything, because at least your body is opened up, your fire element is activated, and you're ready for the day. So Surya Namaskar is an activating sequence, so I don't recommend doing it in the evening before sleeping. It will be hard for you to fall asleep after Surya Namaskar. It's something to activate the energies, to be energetic. Come into a seated position on your mat. Let's chant together 1 time Om and 3 times Shanti, and we finish this session. Bring your hands in front of your chest into Namaskara Mudra. Keep your eyes open or close them, whatever feels best for you right now. Inhale, exhale, and then inhale deeply and we begin. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You have the silence for a moment. Feel your body. Feel where you touch the ground. And then slowly come back into this moment, into this room, and open your eyes. Thanks for joining me for this class. See you next time. Namaste.